So I just remembered I had to do part two. This little river here, you can see how blue it is. It's freezing. It's when I say freezing, it's like your feet turn numb inside it, right? I've been here before, but I haven't been in this particular part of the river. Anyway, the thing I wanted to speak about was the freedom aspect. So I didn't finish my yesterday's video. So I'm going to finish it today. So to set yourself free, the first thing you can do is, if you have a transferable skill, some skill that can be used anywhere, tattoo artist, massage therapist, doctor, whatever, you know, it can be in all ends of the scale. Someone is just crafty with his hands. So you know, there are many professions in this world where you're going to go to university for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and not end up with an actual transferable skill that you can do anywhere and keep yourself alive. That's really unfortunate. Mine, I did IT. It's kind of semi-transferable, but the thing that helped me in the more recent years was the growing use of remote working, and it's actually something I've been putting into companies for 20 years. Even since we had dial-up modems, I was letting people work from home and setting up their systems to do that, VPN systems and all sorts. But it took a long time to catch on to business, and therefore with me traveling, it wasn't actually that easy to make work doing what I do. So just a word to the wise: if you are younger and you're thinking of things, try to choose something that people will always want, even if the world turns to custard, right? That people would actually want to give you something for your time. So I just mentioned a few before. Now, yeah, that's the first group, those who can just take off and leave whenever they feel like it. And they can always find some kind of occupation while they're on holiday. When I say holiday, I just mean the eternal holiday of freedom. So the second type is where you, regardless of what job you do, you're going to have to sit there and make some kind of nest egg first. Well, let's call it starting capital, right? And this is the investor path, where you basically make enough money to invest in something that you know will give you a residual income. And that residual income you need to work out through many factors. So one is, well, first of all, working out what you want to do. Do you want to just make this starting capital with the least effort possible? And then, so regardless of what you do, you need to make basically a table on the things that you can do, the things that you can do where you are, where you happen to be, or where you're willing to go to. What your target goal is to make, and then how you plan to invest it, that kind of thing. As far as the work you want to do, you've got to kind of jot them all down based upon what's the easiest, what's the highest reward versus effort, and what else can we see there? I suppose the maximum earnings, what you enjoy the most. So it may well be that you choose to do the thing that's the most pain in the arse on your list, but it's the highest reward versus effort ratio, right? And therefore you might only spend 6 months doing it. If you know you've got a job on the table, you know you can't stand it, but hey, I'm willing to. I've got a friend who drives to Austria every day and he can't stand it. He just all he does is complain about it and can't wait till he finishes the job. And you know, the job itself's okay. Other times the job itself would be a pain in the ass, but it's right next to your house, or you know, there's a million different ways to choose this. But there's always going to be, unless you're the type 1 who can just get up and leave and throw caution to the wind, and if you also even have survival skills, so you can actually hunt, and you got stuff where you can forage and hunt in the wilderness, you're in a different level, right? You can have freedom at any time. It really just depends what your expectations are, and also what you've put into it previously, because any skills that you have like that, you would have had to spend time learning them in the first place. So you don't just get born with these skills, right? So it depends what you've put into it, like anything in life. So yeah, I'm just talking about the second type 2, which is the investment plan. You have to sit down for a period of time. For some people that will be 10 years, some people it will be 6 months. Some people it will be 10 years in the most pain in the ass job that they hate, but they want to end up having a few 100,000 or a few million, whatever it is, whatever their goal is, it's their thing, right? I would just say, really think long and hard if you do choose a longer path, because you might find yourself being stuck as a system slave, and that's exactly what you're trying to escape with this method of living. I would say take either the shortest path or weigh up the what's the most you can get for the shortest time, and let's say you take your 3 jobs. One of them you don't actually mind the job, it makes pretty good money, that might allow you to spend only a year. One job makes big money but might allow you to spend 6 months, but you're gonna hate it, so you're gonna have 6 months of having negative energy. So even when you take off on your trip, you're gonna start off loaded with this negativity. Then again, in another way, you could be that could be like the starting gun that allows you to let go of all that stress. So maybe it'll be worth it. It's down to your own way. What my point I'm trying to get across to you is that anyone can do this, unless you are codependent. If you're on a wheelchair, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do these kind of things. Still probably possible, I'm not going to say not, but just logic tells you that if you have to rely on other people to do everything, it's going to take a lot more planning and money to do what you need to do, but still not impossible. Let's say, for example, you are in a wheelchair and you just do whatever it is that you have the aptitude for, that does make good money, and then if you do start investing right with that money you make, because that's the thing, you need to have a residual income in life, and you also need to be so that means you don't have to go to work actively, but also you need to have investments. So if you just have investments and that income, that's almost everything done, because then you just need to choose, right, what are my expectations in living? Do I need to have a luxurious vehicle to travel around in? Am I happy with a real simple tent and eating in a campfire, out of a campfire, instead of going to restaurants all the time? Again, it's your choice. It's whatever your level of that rain just came from nowhere. That's what I love about the mountains. The weather just changes. Yeah, it really is to do with what your expectations are in life. I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but the reason is I don't find it very difficult to do what I've been doing for quite a long time now. I've done it on more than one occasion throughout my life since I've been actually since I've been a teenager. I've taken spells off in my life, and then just, when everyone else is saying, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, and I'm like, because I just don't want to do that right now. And the other one is people say, you can't blah blah blah. They tell you what you can't do, Damn, there is mosquitoes everywhere. Okay, I just killed one on my arm. Alright. Now it's hosing down. I thought that wouldn't happen. So, let me just share a couple of times that I've done this. Or, yeah, let me stand under this tree. Come on, wee man. Alright. Yeah, so one time I did this in New Zealand when I was younger. Just basically bummed about because I couldn't get a job. But they did have benefit there. So when I did have a job, you pay in taxes, of course. And if you don't have a job, then it pays you money. There's not many countries that will do that. But if you live in a country that will do that, take advantage of it. You're paying taxes into the system. It's your money to be had back. If you happen to live in some kind of socialist or semi-socialist country, that's what it's there for. I met a lot of people who pay their taxes and live in those countries, and they will never claim benefit, like it's some kind of badge of honor. There's no honor in it. It's called the badge of suckerdom. What you're doing is paying into a system and that has a safety net, and that's the reason why your taxes are so high, and yet you're not using that safety net, so you're just holding yourself further behind. I didn't do that. So that was New Zealand. I did for a short while when I was younger. Later on in life, I made a bit of money in the property market, and then I moved to Australia. I couldn't find work. It was really difficult to find work for a foreigner in Australia. A lot of racism in Australia, not just against brown and Asian people. I'm talking about against anyone who's not from there. It's quite bad. I mean, I noticed it. I didn't notice it everywhere, but I did notice it quite a lot, just generally throughout the country. Anyway, so I couldn't find work there, so I just didn't really work for 4 years. But I had money to get by, and where I fucked up, I think that's the big thing here, is where we learn from our fuck-ups, don't we? So where I fucked up was that I didn't put my money back into something. I was living off my savings, right? And within a few years, basically, my life just got taken to nothing. Because it's amazing how quickly you can spunk through money when you are when you haven't got anything coming in. And oh, it's really raining hard now. You haven't got anything coming in, and you've got all your time free. So 24 hours a day you've got available. Because see, when you go to work, not only are you earning money, but you're also not able to fluff around doing nothing. So you haven't got 24 hours a day to say, right, what will I do now? A lot of those things that you decide what you'll do now, they cost money. So yeah, just by having your bum on a seat in front of a desk or whatever it is you do, that stops you being out there having to spend what you've saved. The other thing is, no matter how meager the income is, if you have something coming in, I don't know what it is, it allows you to say, right, let's try live off that, and let's try leave this set aside for a rainy day. And that rainy day should hopefully be investing in something new that allows you to get residual income in the future, or allows you to multiply what you have. And then maybe do that again, or keep doing that until you find something else that allows a residual income. I've done this in the crypto space. I've kind of started to grow my crypto, but my plan is to do staking in the future, which is where you put some, let's say half of my Ethereum into a staking pool to make a residual income, right? And the goal is overall is to not have to go back to being a system slave. It's not about being scared of work. It's about understanding that this whole paradigm of working is actually just for the cattle class. It's not, you know, if it was for everyone, then everyone would do it. Your Jeffrey Epsteins and Ghislaine Maxwell's of the world would have been doing it, and they're not. They all got set free, but with their freedom they decided to basically be wolf against the sheep and be predators. Well, you know, that's what some people choose with their freedom, isn't it? Some people when they don't have anything, when they don't have any direction that is that their mind comes up with, that says, hang on, this is going to be my goal for life, then they just go into the worst possible things. That is exerting control over others, and just being a general piece of shit, right? So I would say that's some things you can stay away from doing. Just trying to live off of money. I've spoken to other people who've had a lot more than what I had when I was younger, and they've spunked it all away as well by making the same mistake. So that is, even if you have money, don't just live on it. Let it be something that allows you a backstop. So in other words, if I don't find a job within a few weeks, oh well, I'm not going to die. But at the same time, if I can find something, just do it. And when you do these, come on. And when you do these kind of jobs, when I say not a system slave job, because okay, let me first define what a system slave job is. It's when you're getting up every day and you hate getting up. You've got to set your alarm to get out of your bed. You're paying taxes. You're bolted to one part of the world, paying into one government system. Yeah, that's to me a system slave, right? So escaping that is not necessarily not working at all. you might do a job here, a job there, might only last 3 days, might do dishes for a week, right? It's when you do it, trust me, you know what I'm talking about. It's damn, another mosquito. It's kind of liberating, right? I'm just trying to give clues as to if someone's considering breaking free from the daily grind that they do, what kind of things they could what kind of methods they could use to achieve that. Understanding that everyone's at different stages in their life, and well, you get some people who are in their 50s and they haven't saved a penny because they've just been working like a real slave the whole time on the lowest paying jobs, the highest effort, in some cases even higher responsibility. That's the kind of thing you need to escape from. You're not doing great things for mankind, right? And that's the thing, you don't have to do something great for mankind either. I'm just saying, if you're killing yourself like that, the least you want out of it is to know that when you look back on your life, oh look, I did this, now the oceans are better. I did this, now the skies are better. I did this, now this place is now a national park and it wasn't before. Or now this is, you've got to look back at your life and know something good has happened. I did this and I just had a life that was filled with experience and very few downer times. There you go, that's something to, you know, it's a worthwhile life. But when you look back at your life and say, I helped make that man a billionaire, what are you? I mean, the guy's probably a twat anyway, because I find that most people that want to keep modern slaves working for them to make them billionaires do tend to be twats. So yeah, I don't know, I don't want to ramble on about this too long because I think it's kind of obvious, but if there are any questions, just ask them to me. Yeah, because each case is going to be individual. No point trying to do a generic thing that covers all mankind. But definitely get out of the grind. Definitely get out of enslavement, unless you know, unless you're wired that way and you are that kind of cattle class getting your daily download from the system, telling you what to think and what to be upset about. Then maybe just carry on. But you probably wouldn't be watching this channel. All right, thanks. Cheers. This has been Red Pill Diaries. I've been Craig. You've been you, and this has been the end.